The giant Venom Marvel Legends is finally here, but is it actually worth that $60 price point? Let's open it up, check it out, and of course do some toy photography. Is it just me, or has Hasbro kind of changed their ways? As far as big figures like this, I'm sure they've changed their ways and lots of other reasons, whatever. But as far as big figures like this, it seems like they're doing things differently. You know, there used to be the big kind of Build-A-Figure thing where you would buy a whole wave of action figures and every figure came with one piece and you put all those pieces together to make one Build-A-Figure. And it seems like they're not really doing that anymore. They're kind of just putting the whole thing in one big box. And this is your Build-A-Figure, except you just buy the one figure. And in my opinion, if that's the case, I like that better. There's almost never a time where I want to buy every single figure in a wave. Usually I just want one or two, but that's just me. I'm sure a lot of other people are completely the opposite and think, no, I want the whole wave anyway. Give me a free figure. Come on. But for me, this is more convenient. I get the cool big thing without having to buy all the other crap that I don't want, really. So I think this is a kind of a cool change. I'm curious to know what you think, if this is a good or bad thing. Like this case specifically, there was really only one figure I thought was kind of cool in this wave, and that was the other black suit Spider-Man. But I already have like a bunch of other black suit Spider-Man, so I don't need another one. But this one I want. So I just bought this one and I'm all set. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. And this figure looks so incredibly cool. This is Venom from the video game Spider-Man 2. I never played the second one. I played the first one, so I'm not really familiar, and if I get something wrong, oh well, that's fine. But it's a big Venom figure, so who cares? And of course, Venom is here to do a Venom figure. Venom, I'm really gonna need your opinion on this one, pal. So I ordered this figure on Amazon, and I'll have the link in the description if you want to pick it up. He's 60 bucks, and I think he's still in stock, which is pretty cool. So I'll have as many links in the description as I possibly can. Hopefully he'll still be at that $60 price point and in stock when you click on it. By the way, I did just get in this figure as well. This is the Bully Maguire Spider-Man 3 Marvel Legends, which I'm pretty excited about. This figure is really cool. The box is awesome. And, you know, Spider-Man 3, I remember watching that in 9th grade and loving it. Review of this figure is coming soon too. I've got the Maximum Spider-Man arriving any day now. The Hulk one's coming. I just did one on this really great Netman figure. So if you're into Spider-Man, you're in the right place. So I would definitely recommend subscribing. I would appreciate it, and you won't regret it, I promise. Lots of Spidey stuff coming up. Lots of it. I think the last time they did this that I can think of was the Venom Pool figure they put out. That used to be a Build-A-Figure, then they re-released it at Target at a whole big box, and that figure was awesome. And that was like $35 to $40, which was kind of crazy. And this one was $60. Yeah, but I'm not really sure. I'm curious as to why this is 20 bucks more. It does come with more stuff. I don't know, we'll see. That's definitely something to figure out in this video, so stick around. I would say just imagine a normal Marvel Legends figure, but like double the size. Kind of, I mean, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. He's pretty much that exact thing, as far as I can tell. And I think that's cool. I think that's pretty cool. He's got double jointed elbows with no pins in them. You know, he's got plenty of movement. He's just a big Marvel Legend. And he does come with some pretty cool stuff, I think. There's lots of nice texture on him. I imagine figures like Venom are very easy to make. I don't know, maybe I sound really ignorant right now, because I kind of am, but maybe I feel like Venom figures are easy to make because it's just a big muscular thing. There's no crazy sculpting on like clothing or anything else like that, right? It's just kind of like big muscular dude. I don't know, is that the case? Am I just an idiot? Well, maybe, but am I right or wrong on that? He looks awesome, and he looks big, and I don't want to say hulking, but he does. There's a little bit of hollowness going on here that makes him feel not quite so heavy, and I think it mostly is in his chest and torso where he's mostly hollow. Everything else is pretty good. Right, Venom? Venom and Venom, what do you know? You're being a good boy, Venom. He does come with a few things. he does come with some stuff. And one of them is some extra hands. You know, he's got 2 fists you can use, and so the hands he comes with are kind of like, I don't know, like grippy hands. You can put stuff in here maybe. This one's kind of open. You know, you've got a little bit of variety of hands here. I think that's pretty good. And he does come with this, which this is technically a hand. So if you want to have some cool symbiote, tentacle kinds of things, you can attach this to the hand and do some cool posing with that. And you could probably latch this around a figure, which actually that might be something I might do. That's kind of cool. And of course you've got an extra head, which this is fantastic. This is such a classic looking Venom face head. You know, everything about this is so classic looking, and I like that. I think that's super cool. And then this is what's actually, I think, pretty unique, and I don't think I've seen this before. This is like a Venom spit kind of accessory. It's just a clear plastic thing you can put in his mouth while he's got the other head on, and then you can see some saliva in there. And I think that's kind of neat, actually. I kind of like that. Probably not something I would use too often, but I do think that's cool and unique and different. So good for them. Still coming up with cool new ideas, you know? Okay, well, let's check out his articulation. As far as head movement, there's a little bit. I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, if you ever really want to get that nice silhouette of Venom mouth and tongue, you got that. And you've got butterfly joints, so you can go back this far and in this far, which isn't crazy. You've got a whole lot of backwards crunch. That's pretty cool. Forward, you've got a decent amount too. That's pretty great. Wow. T-pose, definitely. You've got definitely more than, wow. That's amazing, actually. That's some incredible, that's about as far as the elbows can go. That's pretty cool. Leg, you've got tons of room to go way up like that. Oop, I popped his foot out, but that's okay. He's very articulated. Like, that's a cool pose right there, isn't it? I'm pretty pumped. Articulation's better than I expected. You've also got toe articulation too, which that is definitely something different than a normal, typical Marvel Legend. Some of them do, but not all of them. I'm impressed. I think this is pretty great articulation. I think you could probably get some pretty sick poses with this thing. I think you're not gonna have a problem with that. It's like maybe even full on just normal Spider-Man poses. Okay, I really want to see if a figure will fit in there. This is a Marvel Legends. This is the Spider-Man Gamerverse one, so this, you know, should fit just fine. So let's see. This will work. Wrap it right around his. Well, okay, fits in there, but can he balance? Can he maintain the weight? Oh well. Oh, we'll see. Come on. The elbow kind of doesn't. See that? Okay. There we go. I mean, Spider-Man's not really abiding by the laws of gravity right now. He's kind of not not hanging downwards, but it works. I say that's still a win. I mean, come on. Okay, how tall is Venom? How tall is this guy? Almost 11 inches? Does that sound about right? Or maybe like exactly 11. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's a big figure. Not quite the 12-incher, but he's a big boy. Right, let's compare him to some Spider-Man. This is the CT Toys bootleg Mafex black suit. Man, this guy, over time, his ankles are not holding up, man. And then this right here is the Netman. I just did a video on Netman, and it's really cool. I really like this figure. Struggling to stand up right now. But, oh, come on, Netman. Really like this figure. I posted a video of him on Instagram, and it's got like 35 million views right now. If you've watched that, thank you so much. That's really cool. And this is the SH Figuarts one. This is one of my favorite Spider-Mans, the No Way Home Spider-Man. This is the Gamerverse Marvel Legends one, and then this is also the Gamerverse Diamond Select. And I did do a video comparing these two figures. They're pretty similar. Obviously, they're the Gamerverse, and that's pretty cool. And man, did Diamond Select just go out of business? That freaking sucks. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that sucks if that's the case. That sucks so much, and I'm so sad about that. But anyway, this is how you can compare them. I think they both scale quite well because Venom is just so big. Here he is compared to the Venom 2 Venom, the movie version. And then here he is compared to an older Marvel Legends Venom. Both of these are awesome figures. Really, really cool, but he's bigger, I guess. I mean, he might be bulkier, to be honest, but both are really awesome figures. Then, of course, compared to Venom Pool. As far as the price difference between these, he is physically bigger and taller, and so maybe that is the justification for that. He does come with a few things, but he comes with more. I don't know. Do you think this is justified at being more expensive? I think so. Maybe not quite as expensive. I don't know. Both are great figures. Very great figures. All right, well, the question is W or L with Denim Venom over here. Is he worth 60 bucks? You know, 60 bucks, high price tag for a Marvel Legend. He is just a big Marvel Legend, really. I mean, he does move like a very good Marvel Legend, but he is just a big boy, and he is very big. In my opinion, yes, he's worth 60 bucks. I think he's a W for sure. Venom's one of my favorite Marvel characters, especially big versions of Venom. Like, that's the coolest in my opinion. So he's definitely worth it to me. I think he's a W, but I'm sure a lot of people will have some strong opinions about Hasbro charging high prices. There's usually lots of opinions in that department. So they're all valid for sure. Let me know what you think is a W or L. If you think he's stupid, think he's overpriced, if you think he's epic and cool, I would love to know, but I think he's a W. I need to take a photo with Venom, and I think I want to do something pretty similar to what I just did with that big long tentacle thing, but I think I want to use Netman because he's still pretty fresh in my mind. Plus he's very light, which will make it even easier for Venom to hold him up. Netman, dude, would you knock it off? God! Okay, there we go. So I think that's gonna be pretty fun. So yeah, let's go and take a shot with Venom and Netman. Best buddies or enemies. Okay, we are at my favorite abandoned place, which is a lot of fun, but if you're ever going somewhere that's abandoned or someplace like this, make sure you're not trespassing. Make sure you're careful because obviously structures like this are not upkept for people to be in, so be careful. All of that stuff, just be careful. Anyway, let me show you what I've got. Here we go. I've got Venom right here, and I'm using Netman this time. The reason I'm choosing him is because he's lighter than the other one, the other figure I was using. So actually, Venom is just barely able to hold him up like this, and it's kind of working out. Plus, I just like this figure a lot. This spot is so perfect because I've got light coming right down, spotlighting on them, and I've got this cool background with the colors, and there's a window perfectly in the background there, so Spider-Man is just perfectly emphasized in the window. That's gonna look so freaking cool. And what I'm gonna do is hold my light reflector, bounce all that light. Like, look how much of a huge difference that makes on there. That's crazy. And there's a bunch of dirt and stuff all over the place. I'm just gonna throw it down there and get the shot. That's really pretty much it. You know, I'm gonna be using my remote, which makes it possible for me to be doing this and this all at the same time. Of course, very, very helpful. Bluetooth remotes for the win. And also, I've got them both perfectly in focus on the focus line. They're both perfectly in line with where the lens is. So both Spidey and Venom are perfectly in focus. I'm pretty excited for this shot. I feel like I'm gonna be pretty happy with it in the end. Also, I am keeping up Venom using a couple of wooden sticks that I usually use. These are so great. They're just like little wooden skewers. So fantastic. So here we go. I'm at 800 for my shutter speed, which needs to be there because I need that fast moving camera to capture all the fast moving elements that I'm gonna be throwing around, you know, all the dirt and stuff. And I'm at 3.2 for my aperture, which is gonna give me a nice blurry background, and it's going to very nicely make sure there's enough wide of an aperture to get both Venom and Spider-Man in focus. And my ISO is at 400. I always leave it at 4, and then I adjust my other settings to get the lighting and stuff that I need. Okay, I'm gonna take this shot. I've already done a couple test ones, but I'm still gonna go and do a couple more just to make sure. I'll do my post-photo breakdown afterwards. Let's go. right, let's do a quick post-photo breakdown of Venom versus Netman. And it looks pretty good. I'm very happy with the shot. I think it looks pretty epic, and it's so simple. The editing process was so simple. This is the before, this is the after. Before, after. Like, it's not a whole lot of difference. Like, the original shot itself is pretty sweet. The fact that I got that window back there, I think, is really making this shot. It really emphasizes where to look at and that kind of thing. So really all I did was remove the sticks. That's it. I did also remove this over here. Remove this little hanging piece of metal that was over there. Got rid of that. I thought that was just kind of distracting. And then I removed my fingers, which I didn't realize that was there. And then just a couple big debris I got rid of too, just to make it a little clearer. And of course, you know, brighten some things. And I did also add a lens flare in the window to make it that much more emphasized. One of the most common comments I get on things like this is like, oh man, I wish I had cool locations like that. I don't want to pretend that everyone's got the same locations near me, but I just live in like basic upstate New York. You know, I just kind of explore a lot. I drive around, I go for walks. Whenever I'm on a run, I run somewhere differently that I don't usually go, so I discover places. Just explore, and I guarantee you'll be able to find spots. And remember, the figures are this big. You only really need a spot that's this big for it to look good. You don't need a giant, massive place. So just explore, and you'll find cool places like this. And I totally believe that you will. But anyway, let me know what you think. Give me critiques as always. I'd love to know what you think. And yeah, let's cue the end of the video. So what do you think? Is the $60 price point justified for this big old Venom? I think so. I think he's worth it. I'm happy with the figure. I think he's actually pretty awesome. He's probably my new favorite Venom, to be honest. Well, second favorite. If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. This photo is going to be posted up onto Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, all of that stuff. If you want to follow me on any of those platforms, you can find those links in the video description below. And thank you for watching. Thank you for getting this far into the video, and I'll see you in the next one.